Lynn just proclaimed things and they happen. We have a treasure.
You see how well that works?
All
All
right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started today. Thank you everyone for coming. We're gonna do our guest speaker first, because she's presenting virtually, and sometimes it's easier to just have the beginning so that we can get all the great material, and then we'll take care of chapter business after that. Our guest speaker today is Jessica Chernetz, and I hope I pronounced that last name correct. Jessica is part of community outreach for Microsoft, and she's going to talk a little bit about different websites that they have that deal with education. In particular, there's a Hacking STEM website she'll mention, as well as a Minecraft education website. So she's going to give us an overview of all of it and make us aware of some of the teacher resources and tools there. So Jessica, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right, thank you very much. You guys can all hear me?
Yes.
All right, good. All right, so thank you very much. My name is Jessica Chernetz. I'm a community development specialist for Microsoft. I'm based out of Bridgewater, which is Somerset County. My primary focus is education. Not only is education a priority for Microsoft, but I'm also a fellow educator. I have my degree in special and elementary education, and I taught for about 7 years in various different schools and different school districts, primarily in the urban setting. So education is something that I hold near and dear to my heart. Microsoft is one of those, or Microsoft Education, are one of those hidden secrets. For some odd reason, Microsoft has a slew of resources, but doesn't tell people about them as much. And I always have this theory, you can't miss something you never had. However, I hope whatever I share with you today, I'm also going to provide Adam and Michelle the links to all of this, along with my contact information. If you have any questions, everything I am going to show you as well is 100% free. Legitimately free, no ifs, ands, or buts, it is free. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't have a presentation on a PowerPoint because I'm a hands-on learner and I like to show people what it actually looks like as opposed to showing you a snip of what it looks like. So I hope that's okay. So. Let me know when we're good to go.
You are good to go.
All right, so first things first, whether you are a Google district, whether you have Apple products, whether you have Windows products, everything here is cross-platformed and or web-based. I just was at Old Bridge doing one of their PLCs, as well as with Middlesex County Board of Education, who is a Google district, and showed them how to actually use all of this on their Chrome. This is the Educator Community. This is an online PD self-driven community for educators to go to gain resources, to get resources, to expand their knowledge on technology, and to also earn credits. So what I mean by that, Microsoft developed this platform and they said, well, let's do something special. I believe, quote me if I'm wrong, Google has something similar when it comes to this community, but every single PD, PLC, any type of workshop that is done through Microsoft, you automatically get a specific amount of points. And if you actually look here, this particular subject, which is Skype in the Classroom, if you haven't got a chance to take a look at anything that Skype in the Classroom has to offer, it is super, super cool. You earn points, you earn certificates and certifications. All the things that are on here that have this are approved by the Federal Department of Education, but also have gone in to make sure that it aligns with New Jersey standards as well. Anybody can sign up for this. You have resources, You have program courses, trainings, rewards, so you earn those badges and points and certifications. Microsoft has 4 different programs. You have a Microsoft Innovative Educator, Microsoft Trainer, a Minecraft Global Mentor, and the big one is a Minecraft Expert. I'm sorry, a Microsoft Innovative Expert. Microsoft loves to empower individuals, and especially within the education community. If you are a Microsoft expert, you can either, it's self-nominated, you do have to earn certain points. However, I think next month, all of the Microsoft experts in the world are actually going to Paris to meet, and it's on Microsoft. So it's a really cool, it's an encouragement to have teachers really go above and beyond and bring some cool and new things to their classroom. And while doing that, you also get to meet other people who are like-minded. So if anybody wants to or heard of it or is interested, it is free to use. It is education.microsoft.com. Once again, I will share all this information. You're with me?
Yes.
Sorry. You're like a tiny little corner in my screen, so I can't see. I usually look for body language or like facial expression, but I can't see anything. I'm blind here. So, okay. First things first. STEM. Microsoft developed a program called Hacking STEM. This is what it looks like. This is pretty cool. It is every single thing that the teacher would need from soup to nuts. So just to give an example of one, this is actually one that I'm going to be gearing up to do this Saturday on how do sharks swim. Ones that look like this, there are multiple lessons inside of it, as opposed to ones, and I'll kind of show you. And they do give you, if you look here, it tells you approximately how many classes, approximately how much cost, and the reason for that cost, they give you a shopping list. However, I say if you're friends with the art teacher, if you're friends with maintenance, if you just are the person like me that just saves things here and there in like little containers, if you look, it's all kind of household products, such as rubber bands, cardboard, string. So it's not really costly. And it also tells you the standards that it meets as well. So I have done a multitude of these. I want to do them all. My boss thinks I'm crazy because I have all these containers that have Hacking STEM this, or I have one that has hand parts, and he was like, why do you have something that says hand or hand parts? And I was like, listen, don't ask questions. So just to give an example, this one actually was one of my favorites, the seismograph. You actually click on it, it takes you to the lesson page. It will give you an overview of what it is, tells you how long, like I said, the approximate cost, and the standards that it meets. You can download the lesson plan and it goes into OneNote. Once again, whether you're a Google school, whether you have if you're all running iOS, OneNote is web-based and everything will open up in a web version, both for the student and for the teacher. So as long as you have access to the internet, you're golden. Here tells you, and this is for everyone across the board, so they all look the same. It tells you the instructions in a PDF format, the lesson plan. It also gives you the step-by-step guide, the Excel workbook, the material list, and the code for the board. I have one code of each of these. So I have a circuit playground and an Arduino, and I just reuse them, one of them. So you don't have to have, because sometimes that is where the cost comes in. However, I just reuse mine. I just flash the new code onto it and continue with my lesson. It does tell you the requirements. Once again, these are all accessible. And then this is what they look like. We also have different support pages, but to give you an idea, how, and depending on how you want to do it, I can make things where you can even water it down for maybe elementary, or you can add more steps to it or kind of beef it up for maybe the middle or even high school. I've actually used some of my high school students. I taught them this, and then I had them teach the elementary kids. So it was kind of cool to even show that leadership. So this is what it would look like. It gives you the activity overview. Tells you the connecting tools, utilize the data. Here's the things that you would need. As you see, they're not complicated things. I'm sure somebody has a glue gun or a plastic cup of some sort. There's nothing crazy. And then it tells you step by step exactly what to do. I have done this with children who have who are on the spectrum. They did it perfectly on their own, maybe a few little things here and there I had to assist. I've worked with children who are IDD, students, high functioning, low functioning. So it's very clear and concise, as you can see. You may, depending on the type of class, would have to assist, especially with the hot glue gun and so on. And at the end, when they visualize it,
oh, we lost sound.
no, I'm here. I just wasn't talking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You're good.
Yeah? Okay. I'm so used to like hands-on. This is so different, but it's so cool. Technology, right? This is the worksheet. So when they plug in or attach these to here, it then goes in to the computer via USB, and they will then be able to visualize and see all of the data coming through. And like I said, there's a whole lesson plan. I've watered it down to a 30-minute quick STEM Saturday event, which you can also make it that long 3-class, 15-minute session. So once again, this is something that's available to any and everybody. I even have some homeschool parents that actually do this as their STEM requirements. Comments, questions, concerns on this? Did you want me to show you something else on it? I can't see anybody's facial. You could just say yes or no.
Can you ask me again?
Okay. All right. So that's the hacking STEM component. Okay. The other component is Minecraft. Let me see if I can see you guys a little bit bigger. Have any of you, oh, I can see you better. Do any of you use Minecraft or have used Minecraft in the past as an educational tool?
Yeah, I have.
You have? What do you teach, if you don't mind me asking?
I teach coding, but I used it last year and the year before with my coding club kids.
Okay, so you use the make code or the code connection aspect?
Well, actually, no, I didn't. I just used Minecraft education for the kids to build. It was a coding club. I'm doing coding now, but I'm actually not using Minecraft. It's only 2 semester, and it's too much for me to do in the 2 semesters.
Gotcha.
I have
No, that's totally, hey, listen, with Minecraft, it's not just limited to coding anymore. There is a coding built into it using the game itself. However, this is the education.minecraft.net. It has, and I will show you. So you could actually go to find a lesson. This is closed off. So teacher has control the teacher has control over the class. This also shows collaboration as well as communication. Here are some of the lesson plans or subject kits. So as you can see, it is not just, technology. What I always like to say is this does not replace traditional lesson plan or how you actually teach. This is a reinforcement tool. I've actually done with math as an example. It tells you you can actually see the age level and what subjects you can view the lesson. You can see the learning objectives, the guiding ideas, and the student activity, and performance expectations. And if it's something that you like, you would then upload this created world, and the students would then be able to go in and do that lesson. It also gives you the chance to talk to other individuals, and you can also have any notes that you have for that lesson plan once you're logged in. In addition to all of that, what I've actually seen and what I've done, because I do teach, I work with different teachers and their classes, and what I've done with this specifically, when the class comes in, they log on, and there is a, almost looks like a chalkboard. And that's where I type my instructions on what I want them to do. So I have them maybe for the chemistry aspect, they can actually go in and find the different elements and put them together, and that makes what, and then you can kind of test them on that. And it's just a fun, different way using games or using gameplay as an educational tool and resource. This is free with Office 365 A1 licenses, which are actually free for schools, teachers, and students. I know in the past that was kind of a big thing where Microsoft was, Office was expensive. It was. And our new CEO has made a huge investment in education and said, on a business side, well, what's dominating? What's the competition? And it's Google. Google, and this is me being transparent, had a phenomenal business plan. I always say Apple's got the marketing plan, and Google knew how to get in there with that business plan. However, what Microsoft has, and I always give the example of, think about when you're making ingredients, when you're making a recipe, making a dish and there's a recipe. Google has a recipe, Microsoft has a recipe. They're almost identical. The only thing that's different is Microsoft gives you a little bit extra flavor. So a lot of these things can be done on various platforms, and now on that business side, they are free, just like Google is. So if anybody had any questions on that, I will also give that information. I don't know.
Do all of these require Microsoft 10?
No.
So we can, version 7, we have version 7 in school.
Everything's web-based.
Aside
from this,
web-based?
It requires Windows.
This is not web-based. This is not. The hacking STEM, but if you're on is your school, everybody's on Windows 7 or?
Yeah, all of the students' computers are Windows 7.
Okay.
And I believe the Microsoft for Education is only on Windows 10. Is that correct?
I didn't get that in my lab. I had to have Windows 10 for it to run.
Yeah, we had to have Windows 10 for Minecraft.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the Minecraft, but for Office, it's web A1 licenses. The Office is free because it's web-based. It actually would look just like this.
Okay, so she's talking about the Office 365?
Yeah, Office 365 A1 licenses. So there's A1, A3, and A5.
And the differences between those are?
I'm sorry?
What are the differences between them?
I will show you.
The differences between them?
Yep, I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull that up for you right now. There are a lot of differences. The biggest one is going to be the fact that A1, I'll just show you. Don't worry about it.
As you're looking this up, Jessica, I think there's just multiple points of confusion. You need Windows 10 to run the Minecraft stuff.
Correct.
You have to, yeah, so that Minecraft is a downloaded software. However, you can use I think it's iOS, so if you have iPads. So if you go to,
When I used to pay $5 a kid, I didn't know it was free. Last year I paid $5.
so you can download, here you go. So it's Windows 10, Mac OS, and iPad devices. So that's where you can get Minecraft available to you.
What if you have Office 2016 and not 365 A1 licenses?
These are the versions. So you have the permanent, if you have, is it Microsoft 3? Oh no, it's the permanent edition.
No, it's Office 2016, it's not the 365.
Is it Pro Plus?
I have no idea.
Okay, if you could find out if it is the Pro Plus for education, usually, and I could always find out more information, who do you get your licenses from? CDW, SHI, Journey Ed?
You know, I'm not in charge of that. We use CDW a lot. I don't think it's Pro Plus. I mean, when you open it up, it doesn't say that. Would it say that when you open it up? Like Microsoft Office Pro Plus, it doesn't say that.
It will say it. It will say, you have the desktop versions as well?
Yes, so yeah.
Okay. If you go in here, I'll show yours, obviously it's gonna look a little bit different, but if you go in and you go to account, wherever your account is, it'll tell you.
Okay.
So it's minus 365 Pro Plus, but they have Microsoft Office Pro 2016 Pro Plus that's not 365. So I just want to see if you can tell me which one, because some majority of education licenses come with it. Because I did hear somebody say $5 a seat, and that's what it would be a la carte. So if you didn't want Office or you didn't do any of that, then yes, it's $5. This is the price plan. This is the kind of the compare and contrast on the Office 365 for the A1, A3, and A5. So you can see. The biggest thing is going to be that this is web-based. There is no, just like Google is, there's no desktop version. And I can share this as well. And if anybody has questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them on an individual level. But there's a lot of different things, as you can see. There's a lot of details, but I can definitely send you this information. Good? Does anybody have any other questions on this?
Yes, could you tell me what Sway is?
I just did a PD on Sway. All right, so think of Sway as PowerPoint meets a website. So, huh?
Nobody said anything.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So Sway is, you can either download Sway as an app, or you could just go to sway.com. Just like OneNote, there is no save button. So this is Sway. It may be, I always recommend if you're first starting, they give you, number one, they give you at the top, you see that it says tutorials. Go away. It says tutorials. It does give you information about it, as well as get inspired by featured sways, so how to sway. So they do tell you, but I always suggest to start from a document. So if you have a document that's already made in Word, PowerPoint, or PDF, and I'll show you mine. I would recommend maybe the middle school to high school using this as a way for them to do their presentation, or as a way for teachers, instead of, you know, handing out paper to their students, hoping that it gets to the parent, they would just make a sway and then share that sway out.
So, Jessica, so everybody that has the A1, the free version, also gets this.
Yes, this is I just downloaded the app on my desk, on my computer. However, you could just go to Sway.us. It's through Office. So if you went onto your Office portal and clicked on this little waffle, you should be able to see all of the apps, and Sway is one of them.
Okay, and then the lessons that you had, so they had like sway, I'm not sure what the word was, oh, you said look for the sways. So do people, like students, have to have that sway to be able to view those sways, or no?
Do they have to what?
Do they actually have to have the sway part of it installed to be able to go through those presentations?
No. So the way that it would look is, I'm just going to give an example. My boyfriend's a Redskins fan, so I apologize if you are, none of you are. So I made, this was actually the first sway that I ever made because I wanted to play with it. Right here is your share. When you share it, it's anybody can see this. It actually will come up as almost like a website. This is the actual link. So anybody can view it. Obviously you can invite people to view it, but if you're doing that co-authoring or working together, that's where you would then select that editing. However, this is what they would see, just to give the example. And I am not technologically savvy at all. So when I tell you if I can do this, anybody can do this. So this is what the end user would see.
Okay.
So it is, I embed, now once again, I made this for him. I recorded my voice and embedded it. And this is a YouTube video. And I just plain and simple, it did it for me. All I did was add the pictures and the words, and it did this for me. I did not design this. I did not do any of this. I am not that good. There is, on every single one of your sways over in this corner, it gives you almost like a timeline, or you could even say it as like a chapter or a section. So if you're doing something that's longer, or if you have a presentation, or you're handing something out, you can have them say, okay, can we please jump to the 4th chapter? And it will automatically bring you there. In addition to that, let me go back. Let's say I didn't like the way it looked. This is probably the best thing about Sway. This is what makes it different than PowerPoint. PowerPoint, you have to add transitions, animations, morph. You have to do that. What Sway has is it allows you to hit remix. And when I hit remix, it will change it for me. So if you're like me, that I don't really like making things look too pretty, I just keep clicking until I find something I like. I also can decide how I want the viewer to swipe. Do I want them to scroll up and down? Do I want them to scroll horizontally? Do I want it to be like a slide? And this is where I could see that preview. So nothing changed except the layout. It doesn't change your content, nothing. And I can then go back to my storyline. And anytime I can even just click add. So I want to add a headline, text, image, stack. Think of it like you're looking through photos. That's what stack means. Like a picture after a picture after a picture. I can change the text. I can add media. And I can add different groups or slideshows or even do a comparison. So I could do a before and after, or what would happen if I added mix two elements and have those two elements and as they slide back and forth. And what's the worst case scenario? You don't like it, delete it. I always recommend just try it. You can start from a topic. So if I wanted to do, let's see, colors, fine, color, create an outline. It will actually give you a little head start, I guess you would say. And you can then elaborate on it. You can change it. It gives you, everything is accessible for inclusive and diverse learning. And if I want to see what that looks like, and all I did was press color. And you can then say, okay, I like that one, or I see what that looks like. And then go ahead and change and play with it. It's pretty cool. It's different. I think it's different. Comments, questions, concerns about Sway?
People have questions about chat. Did you see it?
Yeah, oh, in the chat, hold on. We do have some questions. Missy said last semester some of her students used Sway to build their landing page of Weebly. It was great and creative. And Jessica says, first with the hacking STEM at microbits, would I be able to use those controllers for the mentioned lessons?
Oh, I see the chat. Oh, this is so cool. I'm sorry. Oh, okay, I see it now.
I was wondering the same thing about the microbits.
Microbits, no. Oh wait, but you can hear me. I don't know why I'm typing. I'm sorry. So yeah, for the Minecraft, it is only available as of right now in Windows 10, Mac OS, and iPad. So unfortunately, they don't have that available for other operating systems or platforms. We got to get you guys on Windows 10. But if you get the chance, Sway is pretty cool. I've also encouraged people, if I'm going to go back real quick, if you already have a document, so for example, we do coding with Kano. So I had a leader guide. It was just a regular leader guide. I could show you what it looks like. So this was just a plain old leader guide, right? Everybody's used to, this was made in Word, exported to a PDF. Fine, nothing fancy, nothing schmancy. What I did was I clicked start by uploading a document, and I found my Harry Potter Kano. I uploaded it, and it turned it into a Sway. If you see things in it that maybe you don't like, you can add things, you can change things. But it's just a different way of giving a presentation. It looks a little bit different. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't make any of this. All I did was click a button. And you can edit. So obviously I see that some of this was cut off. That's actually called a focus point. So it focused specifically in this area. I can choose to have it not focus at all, so you'd be able to see everything. So that's just an example. I always say, try playing with it. Even if you just start by clicking on create a template, or even start from a template, you can also see how many times things were viewed, how many of your sways were viewed. I can see my analytics from them, right? How many the average time, right? And any ones that I have deleted. So it also gives you a good way of seeing if your students are clicking, or if the parents are clicking on something, or just even getting that feedback. Comments, questions, concerns? I'm just looking at the time here.
I had a question about the Hacking STEM and Minecraft lesson plan kind of guides. Obviously, those activities are going to be geared towards different age groups. Are the actual guides, quote, lesson plans, is that something you can hand to a student?
Yeah.
To understand the instructions? Like, would you say, yeah, as far down as middle school, or so, like, you know, you don't want necessarily a fourth grader trying to read something that they're just not capable of reading, where they wouldn't be able to kind of do it on their own. So you said it's more of a supplemental tool than a teaching a concept tool, which is awesome. But just trying to get an idea of how, when implementing it, could you just turn it over to the students, then just be that facilitator or oversight?
So, so basically, almost like a watered down one, essentially. So let's see. I'll show you a good one as an example. All right, here's a perfect example. Here's the hand. I did this hand as a summer camp. The entire hand. And I had 10 students, and it took 2 hours I had 10 students, and it took 2 hours, 2 weeks, Monday through Thursday. I then said, well, I want to be able to do this with, and they were, the youngest was maybe 11, 12. But I wanted to do something where my younger kids could do it. Click on it. Just so you can see what it looks like. I took, instead of having the whole hand, I did the finger. So I did one finger. So they were, and it uses the same thing. Instead of them making the whole hand, they just make a finger. So this is what it looks like. If you wanted to, so there's you can copy this, paste it into a Word document and print it. This is what the students would look like. They have journals. And once again, you can kind of change it, obviously take some parts out. You can modify it. You're able to edit these documents. They customize it to whatever needs or whatever classroom that you're trying to implement this in. Here's the instructions. Instructions come in that PDF form. So this is what the actual, this is actually what I printed out. And every one of my students had that pack. So for my younger kids, I didn't have them do this. I did it. So the only thing that they did was, like, they understood some of this, right? So here's the whole where you start to actually build the hand, but I didn't have them really cut anything or really use the hot glue gun. I did that, but this is what I had them do, just the finger sensor. Because that's where the information's coming from anyway. You don't really need the felt. So this, and I've had, this is exactly what I've done, and I've done it with kids that are in kindergarten. This whole part, and they all did it perfectly fine. So I always say the picture matches the picture. Okay, what's this picture say? And we'll do it together. So on that, when you were saying, you know, certain kids maybe not be able to read or, you know, be able to say the U-shaped die will help you build the second half. And this is step by step. And then obviously the finger, this is kind of where we stopped. And I had them connect these two pieces to the, I forget what they're actually called. The end where the Arduino board is connected, which is connected to the Excel spreadsheet. So they just get one finger. I just stopped it there. There's no right or wrong way to really go about changing this for each grade level. It's more along the lines of, you know, your students. I know that my Boundbrook special ed class that comes in is not doing this entire thing. My Newark school kids, they can do this entire thing. It's just knowing those classes, and I just stop them at this point. For the younger kids or for the kids that maybe can't do all of it, I would stop it right here. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yep.
Okay. It's very Microsoft allows you to customize whatever you want. But if you don't have, you do need to have, I will tell you this, you need to have patience and time. Because without that, it's going to be more frustrating for you or for the teacher, whoever's facilitating this. And these pieces, by the way, just a heads up, I don't know if any of your teachers are like this, but my nails are always done. I cannot take that sticker off. You do need to ask for help. So I actually have some of my students, I have a student that walks around and helps people start to peel them off before they put them on. Just to give you a heads up if you're going to do this one.
Jessica, John had a question, the website for the free office products.
Okay. So, yep. So if your free office products in regards to office, which ones? Because I can.
John, A1.
Okay. If you have, I'm actually going to type this right here. Okay. Everybody can see that, right? That's actually my email address. If you want, email me any questions and this is for anybody. If you have any specific questions, or as I'm talking, you're like, ooh, I think maybe we can do this, or I wonder if they can do that, email me. This is also my cell phone number. I know it may not be the most professional things. You can always text message me. I've had teachers text messaging me all day. So it's easier for me to answer you that way, but feel free to email me because I actually work with whoever in regards to anything with A1 licenses, devices, anything like that. We work with whoever you're working with. So there's no removing pieces or anything like that. We just then communicate with CDW, communicate with SHI and say, hey, look, they need 10 of these licenses. This is what you need to give them, and they just do it for you. Any more comments about the hacking STEM or questions? Does anybody have any questions? Because it's 6:48. I wanted to talk about 2 other things. I didn't get the chance to. I could talk about this stuff for days. If anybody, this is one thing that I just always like to share. It's not a real STEM thing, but more of an inclusive and accessible thing. My heart is special ed, so I always, when I find things like this, it just brings so much joy. I also have used this in my own personal life. My niece is dyslexic, and I'm actually dyslexic, except back in the 90s, we were just known as bad kids that didn't pay attention. It wasn't that we couldn't pay attention, I just couldn't read because everything looked like this. But there's things such as Immersive Reader. It's in Word, it's online, it's available to anybody, and I just kind of gave an example. If you ever get the chance and you really want to, this is the best one I've ever used. This is the best thing I've ever used. Personally, like I said, I've had to use so many things from Dragon Speak to different iPad tools just to help me be able to alter the text. And Immersive Reader in Word. This is actually what it's like. It will read to you. I don't know if it'll play.
À vaincre sans péril, on triomphe sans gloire. No dejes para mañana lo que puedas hacer hoy.
Can you hear it?
案ずるより産むが優しい.
So it does all sorts of different languages. I don't know if you were able to hear that. But it allows you to change the speed of the voice, male or female. Over here, let me minimize this. Over here is your text preference. I can increase or decrease my text size. I can increase my spacing. These fonts are approved by the Dyslexia Association. This is the one that I personally use for if I get a really long email, or I have sometimes I get documents that are 400 pages. You'd be amazed. I don't even look at it. I scan it, I put it right into Word, and this is what I do. This is the one that my niece uses, which it looks pretty. And then there's different colors. There's 3 reasons for these colors. One is preference. My niece likes the fact that she could read her book in pink and nobody else can, or purple. They're also colorblind approved. My direct, he is colorblind, and all 4 of his children are colorblind, and he uses this for them. And they're also calm colors. This is what I personally choose. Over here is grammar options. You can actually turn the syllables on. It also helps with sounding outwards. You can do parts of speech. I can change the colors according to my background. And I can also show the labels. So if we're working on nouns, or if you're working on verbs or adjectives, you can actually go here. And line focus. Wherever I click, see how there's a kind of dotted outline? That's where if I press play, it will start reading from, but it will also start with my line focus. So one of the biggest things, it will...
Read else for OneNote usually fast. Du siehst den Wald vor lauter Bäumen nicht.
So it will follow and track, or the student can track as they go along. And like I said, my niece uses this. So when she's reading anything, she goes paragraph by paragraph, and then she has to explain what she read. There's a difference between reading and comprehending what you read. She can read a word, doesn't mean she comprehended it. So when she's reading it, and she's like, I think she's making it up, we go back. They say, all right, Morgan, tell me what this is. Read this to me. And she'll say, you know what, Aunt Jessica, I know this says, I don't know what that says, but let's just say it says mom as an example, but I don't know what mom means. just the capability of clicking on it and it gives you a picture for the association. It's also good with children or even adults or anybody who's learning to read a new language for the first time or even English for the first time. And this is something that's built into OneNote as well as Microsoft Word. So I always like to show people that because I think it's an amazing tool and it's cross-platform. You can use it on iPads, you can use it on Chromebooks, it doesn't make a difference. So if you know anybody, if anybody could use this, I always like sharing this information. So I'm gonna leave the last few minutes. If anybody has any questions, I'll try to be able to answer that. But I do also just want to say thank you for letting me talk to you and showing you all these wonderful tools and resources. Thank you very much. If anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
I do want to say that with Minecraft, I did use it one time for social studies class with 7th grade students, and I gave them the option on a choice board, it was about the Civil War, to do a Southern plantation. And I do have to say that the kids that chose that option worked harder and longer than any other option that we had on the board. They really do love using Minecraft.
It's honestly, just with anything, I say if you can make, if you think about it, it's a mnemonic device. It really is. I was the kid, I had to learn certain ways, and I will never, ever forget the periodic table of elements because I associated that and learning that with gameplay. I will never, ever forget that. I will never forget the capitals of every single state. I will never forget the capitals of every country because I associated it with gameplay. Now, it's not for everybody, but when you enjoy something, you're going to go that extra mile. You're gonna spend a little bit more time, and that just goes across the board no matter what you do. I enjoy cooking. When I got an apartment, I wanted a big kitchen because I spend the most time here. But I associate everything with, try to associate everything with fun. I know when I was growing up and I didn't understand something, or it took me because of my dyslexia, it's not even just reading, it was math, it was everything. How can I read a textbook when my B's and D's look crazy? So I had to figure out a way to learn. And I did gameplay, and I didn't even know that was a thing because it wasn't a thing in the 90s. But in elementary or middle school, I did gameplay. And now those resources are available. And I see students who call themselves stupid, or I can't. I always say, I can't doesn't live here. It doesn't live in my house. It doesn't live in my classroom. I can. I will try. I can. Those words live here. And I have seen children who have severe behavioral disorders and temper tantrums like you cannot believe. Restraint from just the frustration. Doing the exact same thing. Doing a math problem. The same math problem that they did on a piece of paper, but just in Minecraft. And they get it. So it has nothing to do with the mental capacity of can you learn that? It's how do you learn that? And that's what Microsoft, especially with our CEO, his son, and I didn't even know this, his son has learning disability. And he made all of these resources. He said, listen, my son has all of these issues, and he said it openly. He said, my son got kicked out of school because there wasn't anything available for him. So Microsoft has all of these things available. They're cross-platform. They're free. And if anybody, like I said, if anybody has any information, I love to hear that. And I love that you said that you used it and they enjoyed it. And they retained it. Anybody have anything else?
I do want to mention that the Hacking STEM, the last couple of years they've been at ISTE, and they've had all of those projects that she was showing us available for teachers to put together on site so you can practice with it. And they have consultants there to show you how to use the resources. So ISTE is in Philadelphia. Hopefully you'll be there.
I'll be at Texpo if anybody's going to be at Texpo.
I'll be at Texas.
I'll be at Texpo, and I'll have all my gadgets. I thought that I had I guess I didn't. It's actually in my bedroom, but I have I can share that. Well, I'll share it at a later time. But I have all of the STEM projects. I'll be bringing them. I was at any education conference moving forward or convention. I'll most likely be there.
Yeah, they'll still have, Microsoft is.
I'm sorry?
Microsoft has like a big place there at ISTE.
Yeah, I believe that we were there last year. I personally wasn't there, but I know that moving forward, just as an educator, they kind of, I get you guys. I talk the talk, I get it. So, yeah, but. Oh, so Texpo is going to be on, it's the last weekend. Texpo is January 31st. Yep, it's at Harrah's in AC.
When again was that?
I'm sorry?
When again was that?
The January 31st and February 1st.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's at Harrah's. Yeah, Harrah's in Atlantic City. They got a lot of stuff in Atlantic City. I've been to the NJEA, I've been to NJSBA, now I'm going to Texpo. You guys love Atlantic City.
Well, thank you so much, Jessica. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, if any, like I said, I will be sharing all of the resources that were up here. You do have my contact information. Feel free to reach out, and I hope that I was able to give you guys some things to think about. And thank you very much for allowing me to share some of the awesome things. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
You'll have to stop sharing your screen so that Adam can pull up the
Gotcha.
the chapter presentation. You're more than welcome to stay on, or
I actually am. My mother has been calling me. My niece is she's performing in the school play, and it starts right this very moment. So I'm literally grabbing my bag and heading out the door.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful evening.
She had presented to us at our last technology briefing, and the assistant technology.
Is she there, or is she doing
No,
it?
she's there in person.
Oh, she's
She's there
there.
in person.
I had a person in Tom's River, they had that STEM fair and on the high school, and that's where I met her.
I had a lot of fun. So you're gonna share your screen, the green, a little bit long. Brilliant. And then, screen. This is screen. Presentation. Presentation. Great. You can present.
Okay, so we're just going to continue the rest of our chapter business here. Today's kind of light on the chapter business. As always, I'm thinking of any members here tonight. Make sure that we signed up for the state Google group, as that's really becoming a hub to get information. Is everybody here part of that Google group? If not, we can cross-reference that for you, but it's kind of where we're streamlining everything for CSTASNJ. So all of our announcements go on there, all sent to Jersey, North Jersey. So keep an eye, make sure you join that. Keep an eye on those emails, lots of information going out. We do have some officer team announcement for 2018-19 year. So I will be the president again. Rama, who had to step out, he's going through a STEM.
It's a STEM night and
STEM night for his son. So he's going through the next technology things. He serves as our vice president this year. So congratulations to him. Michelle is continuing on as our secretary. does an awesome job with all the technology stuff and getting us up and running. And the other chapters still talk about how awesome it is that we actually stream our stuff, and they're now giving feedback that they need to do that as well. So,
They tell them if we wanted to introduce, if they introduce any technology.
Maybe you should have a separate ETPC course for that.
For streaming meetings, we can do that.
you set the bar.
They have to come to it.
And they have to pay.
And we have a new treasurer this year. The treasurer is Karen. How do you pronounce the last name? Schwing. All right, so we got a new treasurer. Always good to get the help. People volunteer to help out. Even if you're not a formal officer, obviously this is your chapter. So as much feedback you want to present, you have ideas, please share them with us. Because you want to do whatever's going to help everybody. Some more CSTA stuff. We still have the CSTA Plus membership, the $50 membership. It comes with some discounts, some access to different products through CSTA. Just keep you aware of that. CSTA is offering different scholarships and mini grants, 10 things, or start programs, or do different things in computer science. This is one of the ways they're starting to raise some of that money so that they provide these things for teachers. Keeping current, the same slide with all our different links to different stuff, our website, our Facebook, the Plus community, Twitter. Make sure that you are posting things as you accomplish that. And if you want to share all the great stuff we're doing, with a big push in the state of New Jersey, and furthering computer science education is also important that we remind people what our students are capable of and what computer science is. And so we have legislators or different people, the governor's office, or DOE. Sometimes they may not be aware of what is already happening and the potential of all this stuff. So promoting ourselves along with the great stuff we do in the classroom can only help further CS education. The big thing on the agenda now is our March 26th programming competition. At this point, registration
was full almost as soon as it opened.
Wow.
We have 3 teams on wait list, so there'll be about 225 students who will be coming. Again, there's a wait list, so if people fail to have it registered, we'll let some other students in. So we have most of the students have registered. There's a couple of teachers that are waiting until after a big exam this week. Not just you, but there's 2 other educators that are also waiting. They want to send their best and brightest students. So
Everybody knows the exams.
well, yeah, they do.
I happen to make the teams with my students, but I also make them based on the kids that want to work together. And we're trying to find that mix of, they work together as kids already, but also I make them so I don't worry about no one wants to work, a student busy, or 6 people want to be in one group, they don't know how to split it up. So I make them, but not, like, keep in mind who likes to work.
I let them make their own, and I had like some really strong kids that paired up with groups up with some really weak kids. You know, but then you don't want to, they want to work with their friends, so I think next year they'll trust that.
I guess it's all kind of what you want to do. Like, the kids you see sometimes too, I have some very good programmers that in a competitive environment may not be as good as it is, so time driven and how quickly you get the results in. So it's really about the experience. It's nice if they win, but I know all my students are always like that. It does give them a little perspective. We always have students that are doing well in class and let you see what else is out there. That's what I really like about it. You get to see what other schools are doing and basically their competition moving forward. Because a lot of our schools have these mini silos for computer science. Oh, I'm the best computer science student out of the 10 in my school. I must be the best there is. And then again, you have fully Dallas and what other students are doing. So it does serve 2 purposes, but I agree sometimes it's nice to stack the
The problems are pretty much done for the competition. I think they're just working on the last one. I think they're reading more problems this year. And I can't say much about them. It's because I live with the person who's developing them, but he seems to think they're pretty challenging, but also cool. So if the GOs is looking them over, and I'm sure they'll figure out which 8 to 10 will be represented. We had a couple of teams last year that finished a little early, so I think there's some more challenging ones there. But again, I don't know.
So the one I agreed to be a judge for.
Yes, Bill has agreed to be a judge, as has Adam Smith
Put that in my calendar.
and John Olson. I know you're probably not seeing this, but
They'll find out
Adam
tomorrow
accepted
when I
that
see
for
you.
you. And we do need judges. So typically the way judging goes is that you are given a problem and the solution, and you judge that one problem. So it's like you have to judge all the problems. So we are looking for judges. If anybody wants to offer their services.
Do we ever see the actual coding, or do we just see himself as a judge?
As a judge, you're going to.
You see their actual code.
Oh, okay.
You can see their actual code, you can compile it, you can run it, you can see the output.
Okay.
So the way it was last year is the judges all got the, I guess, answer key package, what had the program and like the optimal solution or the most likely solution. And then you're in one of the labs, and as questions come in, you just pick the one you're most comfortable answering. So kind of like the students, the questions are usually scaled, so there's some easier ones, some more difficult ones. So depending on the comfort level, the judges pick the one, like if they're familiar with the topic, or if they're really good, they may pick the higher level ones. So really they about stock and help now we're picking the more difficult questions. Which kind of just makes sense. And then some of the high schools help teachers helping out that maybe aren't as familiar with the higher level stuff, but might have had programming going on them. And they were picking the quote unquote easier solutions. And then you are in a room with a bunch of other judges, so there's always, hey, I think this works. What do you think? So it's pretty easy.
Would you ask for a leader for us again?
Okay.
Okay, that would be so appreciated. So we do need about 10 to 12 judges and volunteers for the day, and then wants to volunteer.
What are the hours?
The regular school day? Hold on, I'm pulling up the website. The website is,
Registrations.
we're done by like 1
What's
o'clock.
that actual date?
The 26th, March 26th, Tuesday.
Oh, okay. That's right. You told me.
When you judge it, it's either right or wrong, or
Right.
It's right or wrong. And then they just keep resubmitting until they get it right. So it's Tuesday, March 26th. It starts at 9. The schedule for the day is on the actual website, which we'll throw into the slideshow if it's not there already. They're pretty much all out of here by like 1:15 because the buses have to get back. So, that's been our experience, that they all run for the doors.
I'll check and see. That's not coming.
Yeah, if you need like a letter or something.
No, Carmelita was.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
got it. So you'll get some traction there. But if anybody does need a letter for their supervisor, Adam's happy to provide you with one. I'll grab something and we'll sign it. And then we'll get that. Donations and door prizes. We're looking for that as well. So I don't know if anybody wants to offer their services for that.
Our one company was really generous last year. $250.
Oh, so we're not looking for sponsorship this year. We're just looking
Or
for
items.
prizes.
With that money.
Because we have T-shirts for the students that Stockton has generously provided. And we also have some really nice swag too, which I'm not gonna spoil the surprise on the swag. But it's nice and it's useful for the competition and after. And so we didn't ask for like corporate sponsors, but we are looking for door prizes. So
The thing with donations, then you go the whole process of actually getting the check cashed.
Right.
It's not the easiest, so it's almost easier.
and most some of us work for Stockton, so we can't ask for them. Like it's a state thing, so it puts us in a weird position.
do we have a website if someone wanted to donate to these
We do, it's on our website, it's on our CSTA website. I could add it to the Stockton website, for the programming competition itself.
Right, so if someone wanted to
So I'll add that
donate
on.
and maybe cover lunches or something?
Absolutely. There is a place in the foundation, in the Stockton Foundation to make a donation. We did have corporations donate last year. I'll push that out to everybody. I'll send an email with that specific document, how to donate, and what the cost, because it is significant. Feeding all of those students is the most expensive part. So, it's a lot of food.
And just some things that have come through on the emails. Stretch 3.0 is now officially released. It was launched on January 2nd, 2019. So some new updates from Scratch. Definitely something I know a lot of the middle school students really like Scratch. Kind of a jumping off point, getting started point for programming. So that new version is released. You might want to take a look at that. Key opportunities and resources. The CSTASNJ website, the CSTA job board. CSTA's got a lot of stuff going on. Remember their website is csteachers.org. I will take a look at that website. They will, right now the big push is for their conference this summer. The other thing to make note of here is that CSTASNJ website, which is kind of becoming the resource of everything computer science in the state. It's got resources for students. It's got resources for teachers as far as professional development. It has student activities and challenges and competitions. It has like news that's happening in the state on dealing with computer science. So definitely a site that you want to bookmark and make sure you keep an eye on, as a lot is being filtered from there. They connect to all of the chapters in the state of New Jersey. So make sure we take a look at that website. For the CSTA National Conference, their scholarship opportunities to attend, they've just started registration application for this. Application will be sent on a rolling basis, and the first round is due January 31st, 2019. The focus on these scholarships are often for teachers that have never attended the CSTA National Conference. We have several people in here that attended the national conference. I think everybody speaks how valuable it pretty much is. An opportunity to talk to other teachers in the same boat as you, attend a variety of workshops, you kind of take the workshops you want to go to. So it's a pretty neat experience. Anything to add?
No, I love the workshops. That's where I got hooked on the microbits. I was in a group from Korea, and they showed kids like the effects of earthquakes, and they were like fifth grade. I was fascinated with it, and they only cost $16.50 a piece, so they're affordable. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought everything was done well. The lunches that they had, they even had at the evening, if you had nobody there, they had little trips. They went to the University of Omaha, which I thought was really great. All the rooms set up one room you went into, and they had like a virtual zoo. Another one you went into had breakouts, and I actually got two really good breakouts from it. And then another room was different things that people had come up with, all computer science students. I thought it was done very, very well. Learned a lot. Never hooked up with Michelle though, but
No, just for that one.
yeah, I know when we saw it.
We had a
Every time
meal
you were out,
together.
I went to the Omaha, and we went to that. It was nice. It was really nice.
It was nice.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely apply to go, because they do want people who've never been there before. They pick those first, and there's three rounds of their applications. So the first round, it is due soon. When is the conference? The conference is in July. I have it right here. It is
Arizona, right?
yes, it's from the 7th to the 10th. But the day before, they typically offered a leadership conference as well, with scholarship for that as well. So it could be the 6th to the 9th, you know.
Some of those are expensive though, the ones early on, they're kind of pricey. Did you pay for any of those early on?
I did not. I actually had the the entire thing funded,
Oh.
because I got enough scholarships
Okay.
to go.
Right.
So I didn't sign up for workshops that I would have paid for myself, but because I was in the leadership summit, so that was the day before,
Right.
where there were some pre-conference workshops.
Right.
So
That was a really good one, but it was, I think I paid $100.
And then on the back end of that, there was also a science conference. I don't think it was the NSTA, but it was something. I'd have to look it up. But, so that was for 2 days after the conference. And there were also scholarships for that as well. And I'll try and figure out what it was. And, but so some people stayed on after we left.
Right.
Did that, and I was like, oh, yeah. Okay. So it was pretty cool, because I would have applied for that too. So, but definitely apply, the money's there, to give it out.
Right, so more professional development, full disclosure, this is Code Numbers Professional Development. I am one of the facilitators for this. I'm really obligated to make that announcement before I actually pitch it. So what Code Network has done is they develop regional partnerships throughout the country, and they've trained facilitators in these regions to give professional development to teachers. So their regional partner in New Jersey is the College of New Jersey, and registration has opened for the Code Network Professional Development workshops designed for middle school and high school teachers. So for the middle school teachers, it would be the CS Discoveries curriculum. We create what they create is an introduction to computer science, what it does for students, empowers that creativity, communication, problem solving, and fun.
What are the dates for this?
The dates for that is on the next slide. Can be taught either, and also CS principles, which we cater towards the high school students. So Code.org has 2 fully completed, pre-packaged, curated series of curriculum. The purpose of this professional development is to be trained on everything in the curriculum, as well as kind of their approach to on how to teach it. They have this philosophy or approach that you're not the direct giver of information, you're more just a facilitator, kind of like you would think of in more educator workshops, but it's kind of a new concept applied to classes. Part of the training is kind of getting you familiar with, okay, how does this actually work? I'm not standing up here getting information out. I'm facilitating this process. The workshops for this are the following. There are 2 CS Discovery. Well, first is the 5-day workshop in the summertime at the College of New Jersey. The CS Discoveries, there's going to be 2 different groups because they have 2 sets of facilitators. So if you apply or accept it, you either attend the June 24th to the 28th workshop or the July 29th to August 2nd workshop. It wouldn't be both, right? It'd be one or the other. For the CS Principles, which is the high school curriculum, it would be the July 29th to August 2nd workshop. Right, and like I said, this is an opportunity to explore the curriculum, the learning tools, discuss management and teaching strategies. It definitely helps build a community of teachers. Right, you get into a group of other, hey, I'm in my classroom. How are you handling this? We don't really always have that opportunity in our individual schools, so it does create that sense of community. After the summer workshops, there are 4 quarterly workshops, so 4 different Saturdays throughout the school year. So we just completed 1 workshop last weekend. There was one in September, November, January, and then March, I think our next one is. So you do the week in the summer, the 4 quarterly workshops.
They don't do elementary.
The Discoveries curriculum, they say grade 6 to 10. They do some training with CS fundamentals. I don't know if it's as intensive as this. So like this training is meant, if you sign up and get accepted this program, you're committing to that week in the summer plus the 4 Saturdays. I know they do training for the basic CS fundamentals that you use. I just don't think it's a week long thing. I can look at it.
I did it. It was a day. Because before they came out with the middle school one, I went to it. It was at the Gallery Library. It was all day. And they gave you, they gave you even a bunch of little, Josh, he said.
I took that one, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a day, and it was very.
Yeah, I thought we started to, do workshops.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, I was curious what it was all about, and, but it was a little young for me, because then I was 7th, 8th grade, now I'm 6th.
Great. So I use the fundamentals of the career learners
Yeah.
here.
And they give you the cards and the dice and all the little things that you need. They give you a great big book of, actually, if I find them.
It's funny, I just did a workshop for, teaching coding away from the computer, like just concepts. And I kept on trying to supply materials, and I kept on saying, every time I came back, the best materials I could find were code.org. I said, I know you guys already know these, but I can't find anything better.
I will say, if you're looking for a curriculum, it's very friendly to use.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's everything from, this is your opening prompts. Say to the students, hi, today we are going to learn about. So it is very well put together.
Well, it's not the way you should put it out, for especially for the us. It's great.
Is it great? Oh, yeah.
The curriculum's free, this training,
So, like, my question is, we already use PLTW, which Abby and I are trying to kind of get away from, but, like, does our school have to pay site license or anything? For
No.
code.org?
all of code.org stuff is free.
Okay, so then, to attend the workshop, that would be.
Code.org's in this transition phase where they're really releasing it out to the regional partners, and they're pulling back on the funding. So, like, for regional partners that have been established, we're looking at a fee. I don't think anything's been finalized just yet. When we say a fee, the numbers I've heard in conversation, like $400, which at face value seems like a lot, but then if your district looks and you're getting 5 days of training in the summer, plus another 4 days of training on Saturdays, 9 workshops, that's
Are they providing housing this year or no?
they're not providing housing, which is not a great thing. But the one thing I will say, I have to go up there every day, so if somebody's interested in playing carpool, we can probably work something out there, because I'm going no matter what, because I do the training, so I can't say it's too far from me. So that is an option, that if you are local and that was part of your issue, I wouldn't have a problem carpooling or something else that way. Yeah, they do not provide housing. There is going to be scholarship opportunities for teachers in certain districts, depending on location. So a good number of big thing is equity. So depending on your demographic makeup of your schools, your socioeconomic status, things like that, urban schools, they are going to provide scholarships for teachers to attend. Then I think from there, if they still have extra money, they will continue to support wherever they can. But there has not been like a set fee set for these. And yes, it's going to be. So those details are being ironed out. If you go to the application, I'll put this link right here, no problem. So it looks like they have the cost there. I'm not positive off the top of my mind, off the top of my head, but that's something you can take a look at. Like I said, that would cover the week of the summer and the 4 workshops. They do feed you lunch and breakfast. It's a lot of food. And
It's a lot of food.
It's good food. It's
Probably good.
No, they didn't.
The only thing with code.org though is that it's so much of the honor system. I've been doing it now with App Lab and web development. And like I'll say, okay, you're doing this section, and oh yeah, I'm finished. And then you go, they have all the green dots, but you go in, well, what did you do? It says make it blue, it's still green. This is supposed to be larger. So you gotta go check everything. I've had classes, so I'm like checking everyone, yeah, I'm done, but you're really not done. So, like the HTML, doing the personal web page. Okay, let me see your site. And what do you mean? Well, you've been building the site up to now, but you don't have to do anything. You could just click. That's my only thing. I can't really count it for grading. I really have to grade it individually. So and they're learning if they do it.
The grading can become a little intensive, but code.org is working on modifying those things.
Oh, yeah.
So like one thing about code.org is they're very responsive to feedback. They're constantly looking to update things. That's one thing. But for instance, this workshop, you also start to get tips from other teachers like, hey, I'm spending hours grading. What are you doing? And then somebody comes up with the grade and you go, oh, I never thought about that. So I think that's really a value, because there are some things in any curriculum where you're like, well, I don't know how to do this, or the grading is killing me right now, what are you gonna do? So that is kind of a sales pitch for the workshop itself, because you're building that community of people that have that same issue, how are they going about it? But also, I do know that the curriculum is constantly being modified by code.org, and the website and their engineers are always reaching out. Hey, what are the questions that your attendees are giving? So.
Yeah, we had that same problem with Tinkercad, they would just keep going through. You're like, no, you didn't actually do.
You do anything.
You're just hitting the
Yeah,
thing.
watching the video.
So like we try to peer certify that they had done it, but not get them.
Now, my kids found that very hard.
Tinkercad?
Oh, no, Tinker, T with a Y. Tinker,
Oh,
no,
T-Y,
no, they love
yeah.
Tinkercad. That was the last I did, I couldn't.
But yeah, that is one of the things.
Yeah.
But, so a couple things there. Workshop's gonna have cost, but good network stuff is completely free, curriculum's free, their accounts are free. All right, NJ STEM Month is March. This is sponsored by NJ STEM Pathways Network. They recently posted an application for a $500 mini grant for STEM related events. So if you want to run an event, you can apply for a mini grant. There's a link to that. And so STEM Month's a big month. One of the big things that we always have is conversation. All districts need to be on board with STEM, but the technology/computer science part can tend to get lost in there. Like, hey, we're using a computer, so this is computer science. This is our technology. So that's one thing that we definitely want to, as an organization, as a group, as computer science teachers, make sure that people understand technology is just the use of technology. It's to create stuff, to do stuff with it. So there are opportunities there to go ahead and apply for some money to host some of these events. Just some other slides here. We have our Master Part of Instructional Technology here at Stockton. We can be online. The coding teacher series here, we have a couple workshops coming up. We have the Alice workshop on January 18th, the Intro to Microbits on January 30th, App Inventor February 7th, and Scratch Ready February 28th. Another Alice, some Raspberry Pi stuff. So definitely keeping going with the hands-on activities for teachers of all backgrounds of knowledge, trying to encourage more to try these things, get into the field, make it known that everybody's capable of doing this. Like the support's there, sometimes just getting over that hurdle of why I go through what I can't do that. No way. And these workshops are really good because they start from the ground up and they can get advanced enough if you have an understanding, but yet be friendly enough for somebody new to all these topics. Okay, so introduction to Python, some Arduino, so lots of nice activities, the Python Scratch, some more micro bits.
That's because we have we're running the series twice, so you're catching the end of one. That's why you're getting. You're not loading the same slide up.
First, here's
You can attend these as one-off things, correct?
Yeah, I just went to the debugging Scratch one.
So you don't have to go through
That
the
was the only one I
series.
went to.
You can pick and choose when it's not nice, go through the series, or you can just do the individual one.
Is it a hidden slide?
Yeah.
That's okay.
You don't
I'll
have
put
a
it back
hidden
in.
slide?
I don't have a hiding slide.
We have Makerspace Mondays, always popular. We got a lot of stuff going on here. Or I think these are all right.
Okay, so each one of the Makerspace Mondays, depending on what we're actually focusing on, we take between like 8 and 13 people, so these are small, hands-on groups. And some of them fill up and some of them don't. It just depends on the time of year, and sometimes we'll have like districts send 13 staff, and that's really good because then they spend some time talking about the articulation, so that's definitely something. Well, we've worked with a number of school districts who have sent 15 people, and they are just playing, and we spend some time with the articulation. It's great. And they come to multiple ones, where we focus on very specific skills. So it's nice. We get a lot of repeat customers.
Which one's the open one?
The open one are the ones that just say Makerspace Monday. So that's January 28th, and I think there is one in May, March 18th and May 13th. So those are pretty much, everybody kind of gravitates towards what they're interested in playing with and working on. And I just run around like an idiot and try and help everybody. But the other ones are more targeted, where we're working on specific projects that have to do with like the little bits of it. So those are definitely more targeted. They're great though. Everybody who comes ready to play and learn, so.
It's kind of a play day.
It is, but they don't get a chance to get this stuff in their hands
Right.
otherwise.
And the
trying
time to
make
play,
it
the time to check it out.
And watching them bounce ideas off of each other, they all come away, definitely, lots of resources and new friends, and the resources are constantly updated, and they add to the resources as well, and they send it to me, and I put it in our folders, which are very organized and fantastic. Just to get access to that folder, because we're coming to a Makerspace Monday.
Some CSTASNJ notes. Like I said, big thing here is the Google group, so that you're getting all the necessary information, that your hashtag there, our CSTASNJ.org website, kind of be trying to keep that camaraderie and togetherness of all the chapters. Computer Science and Information System program here at Stockton. So from the area, obviously, this is one of the places that our students might be looking at to further their education. So keeping them aware of the offerings here right at Stockton for them. That kind of wraps up. One thing we didn't have this meeting that I want to try to get back to, and at least is the part I kind of like, is the shout outs. I feel like our shout outs have kind of tailored off. People haven't really sent many things in. So if you have anything that you want to share, student accomplishment, something you participate in, professional development, please send that in advance so we can kind of recognize everybody for the awesome stuff they're doing. Self-promotion sometimes is needed.
On that note, Adams, you had something going on, and you were supposed to send it to me. You had it.
We had a fabulous middle school hackathon run by one of his students, and it was terrific. My kids loved it. They had prizes, they had lunch, they learned a lot. And some of those kids are not social kids, and it was a very social event because they had kids like themselves. And I thought, you didn't get a lot of girls, but I thought, but I don't have a lot of girls in my classes, so but it was terrific. You couldn't have done any better than you did. I mean, the kids were so psyched about it. They wanted it again this year, and I said, no, it'll be the annual thing. It was terrific. And it was Saturday.
Yeah.
It was Saturday. They all got rides there. His students, he must have had a dozen students there to help. And they were all very well prepared. They were enthusiastic for the kids, and it really was a really well done event.
What kind of things did they have the kids do?
So the whole idea, the entire thing was ran by my students. So I had one student whose brother, didn't she just study last year?
Yeah, her brother was in 8th grade, so she came by for back to school night.
And in talking to Marianne, this student was like, hey, let's do a middle school hackathon. So it kind of came up last year. Didn't really have time to put it together, but this girl kind of did it all from creating a form for registration, to design the day. So I'm missing 9 other high school students came up their Saturday for 6 hours. And what they did is they ran. So the middle school students arrived, I think it was about 35 to 40.
Yeah,
in that range.
Yeah.
And the high school students ran workshops, like 45-minute workshops on different topics. So one of the popular ones were 2 students that came familiar with Unity. And ran like a quick overview. Here's Unity. Get your hands on half an hour, maybe. Trying to remember the other workshops.
3D printing.
3D printing, here's the software, here's what you can do with it. Scratch, here's the software, here's what you can do with it, here's some demos.
One of those robots or something. There was a video of like some artificial
I had
intelligence.
another group of students that taught a little bit about artificial intelligence and how to use like quick draws, different websites that kind of show machine learning, neural networks. And on a simple level, how's it happening? Middle school students were a little bit really creepy because I'm drawing pictures, telling me what I want to draw, and draw a line, and there's a code. And so there's that. So it was basically they could choose between 4 workshops, each one was about 30 minutes long. So that was the first hour. And then for the rest of the day, it was like an hour of pick what you want to explore it, start to create something, lunch, and then after lunch back to kind of what do you want to do, explore, develop, create, and we gave different prizes. So like the person who came up with the most creative 3D print design on a gift card or the most creative scratch projects. So different things like that. So a little bit of here's what's out there for most of the students, because a lot of them didn't necessarily know all the software, followed up by, all right, now you're introduced to it, create something with it. And the high school students, when the middle school students were working, were kind of just facilitators, the experts. So if a question came up, they would go and help them out, which was kind of neat to see.
Did you get like funded with food and stuff?
I had some extra money from another event, and then
You tried for a grant, but they didn't.
You did it in high school or
at the high school?
we did it in the high school. They had found the high school, at least in our district, is the only building that's open on weekends. So you have to save a lot of money.
I'm gonna apply for a mini grant. See if we can do that.
I tried to do that. I think total, it wound up costing $200.
I think because it didn't affect enough people. You know, like for microbids, I said we're gonna affect, 200 people. I think that's probably just the numbers didn't get it, but it was really a nice event though.
They tend to blow up,
Really
I mean, we were under 100 for our first programming competition, and now we're triple, so year to year.
Or you find a student that's gonna
Yeah.
take it on.
Yeah.
So student orientation will be senior next year. She has some lofty ambitions about this. So.
Got to train for the next person. Next person.
Find a way.
That's how you need to be part of it. And you find the person who relates to it. So they could
Really? She was pushing.
Yeah, she'll find somebody, I have no doubt. And
Because honor society hours.
I was talking to the CSTASNJ employees, and I think they're gonna let her submit a write-up on it. We'll see if we can get that published.
That's fantastic.
So I'll keep you posted on that.
That is phenomenal.
Is that what I was supposed to do?
That's exactly what you're supposed to do. I was like, please, tell them to get to the place, because then that gets
And there's a
showcased.
ton of pictures.
It galvanizes, like,
Mike's readers have a ton of pictures. There's some really, really good pictures, even from high, like, stood up on high.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Speaking of amazing students, I had the delightful task of writing a letter of recommendation for Sarah Plum. So she's applying for an internship in Washington.
Yep.
And asked for recommendation letters, and that was really great. Some of those students, amazing.
Yeah, if you have a shout out, make sure you include it. You guys include it, and I left that out.
That's why I came tonight. That's why I should give a shout out to Adam, because it was fabulous. Drag my mother out, and, I gotta get there.
Future meetings, there are future meeting dates, March 13th, May 8th. We don't have any presenters lined up yet. I know in our survey forum, we had some people say they'd be interested in presenting. If one of those dates works better for you, and you're definitely on board in presenting, let us know. As always, if you have things you want to see, let us know. If you want to present, you can shoot myself or Michelle, or both of us. We love that people present. We do want to make it definitely, we want to get more people here. Right? I think that's the consensus. So that people are here and engaged. So it really is what we do kind of make it better for the attendees. I don't guess they'll maybe lecture through or talk through. I don't really want to do that either. So any ideas you have on how we can kind of build the community, that would greatly appreciate it.
If you attend a workshop, it's really good, get the person's contact information, they will bring that for us too.
Yes, absolutely. That's what happened right actually. Thanks to Marianne. met Jessica.
Oh, yeah, I was really impressed by her. I'm like, hey, you think you are?
Yeah, you never hurts to ask. And people are surprised how much they're willing to share and talk, and it's a nice little community, so keep your ears open and think, any other comments, questions?
In order for them to make the Minecraft accounts, do they all need emails?
No, we used our, we signed in with our, Microsoft has kind of like Google, they give you that kind of fake email address.
That's what
Well, but it's Microsoft gives you kind of a fake email address.
So, because my kids don't have
Neither did
email.
mine. Yeah, no, so they gave them that, like, at Microsoft, blah, 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 blah. We had it too, I didn't know that I had one. I ended up being an administrator because I paid $100 myself. So then I kind of took it over, and then when I lost coding club, and I'm teaching coding, to me, they want to play the game. I mean, I used it in social studies, and they loved it, but it wasn't so much coding. Like, I can't justify it for a coding class, because they're consumed with the game.
Playing the game.
Yeah, so, but I think it was wonderful for coding club, but not for, and for classes, a lot of teachers would take it on, but I was the only one doing it, so I didn't, I couldn't justify that. But
And I
they
use
do
Scratch
love it.
like all the time.
Yeah,
So my sixth graders are very sophisticated by now.
right,
They
right,
did it before, then they did it,
Right.
and now they're doing it again in sixth.
yeah. We really started,
What?
What grade?
Fourth, fifth, and sixth. Where town? So, in fact, I just found out, we just taught them how they're gonna make a game, I just taught them how to do the scrolling screens. And so I'm like, this is so cool, because I just learned so. I was so excited. I stumbled on it 9 years ago or 10 years ago, back when it was literally only 3 million projects shared. And now it's like 30 million projects shared. Like I've been doing it a long time.
I'd like to move to Alice, though. I'd like those kids to advance to Alice.
So, yeah, don't forget, 9-year-olds.
I might
know
come
Alice
to
is,
it. I might come to it.
It can be as complex as you want.
but, okay. Yeah, so I just, I'm really, I love Scratch.
But it's the same,
And
it's visual, you drag an object and move the object. Now, you get more sophisticated now, like you can feel removing the legs to get a person to walk. 40% of the person slide across the street. You're doing the ability to kind of, like, for a 9-year-old, to get them thinking about rolling, turning back and forwards to walk. It's a little bit challenging, but
yeah, like we'll make the mouse go up and down. The screen.
yeah, you can do stuff like that. So Alice, depending on where you want to be.
Oh, maybe.
So like that area in Scratch where you can go
There is
down
a
and do the little points. Alice does that.
Alice, you put objects in the world.
Yeah.
So you put them on, you go on, you add objects. Once they're in, you click on the object, and then there's a bunch of commands for that object. So you can move the object and try to move over and do like you want to move forward, backwards, up, or down. Just pick the direction you want to do it.
It's actually a really good starting point for kids that are interested in gaming, designing, to really see how much goes into making an avatar do something.
You got detail.
Right.
I'll be on Bill's workshop.
What's that?
I'll be there. I'll be at Bill's workshop.
I remember teaching that stuff with Flash, where you have to animate each leg and each day, and very few people have patience.
But you can do that in Scratch, like when you go into the characters and you can.
Yeah, but this is
that
you're making
clearly.
the character from a back. You're making the leg foot. I mean, those are pre-made ones that are set to do little things for you. These that didn't exist.
How many kids draw?
What's that?
You make them draw their sprites, and then they can make the stuff move.
No, that's a good point.
Right.
I mean, everybody's so bent about computer science and math and science. Somebody's got to draw something at some point. Somebody's got to write the music for it. But it seems like nobody cares about that.
And
Somebody has to design the logo. Somebody has to design the avatar.
And my Scratch project, I do a lot of writing, they do a lot of curriculum. They write it, they do it. One thing Scratch is spell check. Like that's the one thing, I make them do all the writing in Word, we do all the spell checks, it's all corrected, and we copy and paste it.
I can see why
So
they
that-
don't have the
But it's so hard to see, I mean, the block is very small, maybe it's like 50 when you're alive. But I find like we do it all in Word, and we make sure it's perfect in Word before they paste it.
That's probably the right way to go.
Yeah, because it can be then,
That makes sense.
because.
And that's how I would do it. I would put it, if I were putting a large piece of text.
Mine are all built capitalized sentences, spell words correctly, punctuate.
Didn't ever.
Well,
Good
good
night.
night. All right.
All right, that's it. Good.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Pizza.
stop sharing.
And salad.
Share the red thing first, which the students can pass it off to today. Then, Raymond and me. There's like, and
Kids still in the